This is just an overall guide for calculus, and math doesn't come naturally to me, and that's why I made this, because knowing all this stuff helped me in math, so I hope it can help you. So the biggest thing is algebra. So algebra, I had a lot of gaps in my knowledge of algebra, and that's why when I took calculus, it was really hard, because even though you understand the calculus part, sometimes the algebra is what tricks you up. So really make sure all your math knowledge and algebra knowledge is really solid. Another thing is the unit circle. See, the thing is, some questions completely depend on this. So if you don't know the unit circle, you simply cannot get the right answer. So make sure you just Google it and try to memorize it, or just look up a video of it, and this will come up. And the other thing is trig identities. Try to memorize as many of these as you can early on, because once again, just like the unit circle, sometimes without these, you simply cannot remember. You simply cannot answer the question. So just try to remember these. Try to memorize as many of them as you can, or just ask your professor or teacher which ones you need to know. Another thing is the general graph. This isn't crucial, but sometimes it is. Even if it's not crucial, it really helps. See, math is really abstract, but when you have like a graph like this, you can understand what's going on. So this can really help in some problems like limits, if you're trying to find what happens when it comes from the left and the right. And so just know the basic graphs. I just listed a few here, and just try to memorize them and just the general shape. So even if it's like 2 over x, you still know it's the general shape of this. And then, so these 3 things are pretty basic, but they really help, and especially this one. So I know a lot of people practice, and I know a lot of people that don't practice. So the practice part, even if you're really good if it comes really naturally to you, the reason why we practice is not only to improve, but to understand where we make mistakes. It's really easy to make a simple mistake. So when you practice hours and hours, you see all the mistakes you could potentially make, and then you won't make them on the test, because it's better to just practice and not make mistakes on the test. So you understand where you make your mistakes, even if you know how to do it. And the other thing is teaching it. Sometimes we can do hundreds of problems, but the thing is, when we're asked to teach it, we realize we don't really understand it. Because when you go to teach, you just realize that you memorized a bunch of steps. And if they throw a new problem at you, you don't really know how to approach it, because all you did was just memorize steps. So when you teach it, you really understand it. The other thing is just ask questions. Once you teach it and you've practiced, you'll have gaps in your foundation, so then that's when you ask questions. Or when you're practicing, you ask questions. And just try to ask your teacher, or professor, or a tutor. And that's really crucial, because the thing is, you can't always figure stuff out on your own. And sometimes it's just more time effective to just ask someone and get the answer immediately, rather than spend 2 hours trying to figure it out on your own. So then, so these 3 things will help you a lot. Overall, calculus isn't that bad, even for someone that's not naturally good at it. The only reason why calculus is kind of difficult is the fact that you need to bring all these pieces of information together when you're doing an exam, or when you're doing homework. You have to bring in all your math knowledge, all these things, and bring them together on top of the calculus concepts. So that's why calculus may seem difficult at first. And it doesn't matter how long it takes for you to practice. Just practice as long as it takes to master it. You should be able to do it in your head, or at least easily. Just practice, and that may take 10 hours, 20 hours, 60 hours a week. That's okay, as whatever it takes to do well. And don't compare yourself to others, because that's an easy mistake. You see someone not having to practice, and you wonder why. But everybody's good at something. So if you want to do well, and it's a really hard time, just invest hours. And if you do anything long enough, it'll become easy. Because I was never good at math, but all I did was just invest at least like 20 hours per week, just doing problems, asking questions, trying to teach it. Like, I make videos because that's how it helps me learn how to do all these calculus problems. So yeah, so just try your best, and I hope that helped. Thanks for watching.